go into the hospital, and because of all the crystal meth, my heart it got over 200 beats per minute, and then it just gave out. And so I ended up flatlining for 45 seconds, and then they had to paddle me back, and then I flatlined again for another 45 seconds, and then they paddled me back. And so I end up like technically, dying for almost 2 minutes.
Yeah.
Hello, y'all, and welcome back to the Gen Free podcast. Can I get a little round of applause? Yay, you guys are so quiet. This is the student-led podcast focusing on discovering God's freedom in our everyday lives. I'm your host, Ayana Cruz. As always, we have...
Sawyer Robertson. I am the co-host of the Gen Free podcast. I'm still here.
What a shocker.
What a shocker.
Wow, how lovely. Thank you.
Yep.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
You're welcome.
I would miss you very terribly if you ever left.
I'm going to leave. Best co-host.
Oh, you know what?
kidding.
Leave. Bye.
Okay.
My goodness.
I get to take a spot.
You got to say a lot more than... You can't just sit there. You can't just be quiet. And we have...
Chris, I'm back again.
Yay! Christopher.
Yeah.
And then... our lovely guest, who I'm so honored is here today. I might mispronounce your last name.
It's okay.
But I'm gonna give it a shot.
You got
Go
this.
for it.
Ryan Waldroop.
Hey, man, you got it right.
I got it right. Okay, yay.
Normally people say drop, but you say droop.
This is Drew. So emphasis on the two O's.
Yes.
Got it. We're all here. Would you like to share a little bit about yourself?
Sure. Yeah. So I live in Mechanicsburg, Pennsylvania. Been there since 2019. Currently, I work for Global Awakening.
Nice.
It is a ministry started by Randy Clark. And I am a new husband, father of an amazing 9-month-old baby boy. His name is Emmanuel.
Oh, that's a beautiful name.
Been married for 2 years, and yeah,
Wow.
that's a snippet.
Awesome.
Congratulations on the baby. And you've been married 2 years, but the married. Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. What year is it?
2023. I had to think it for a minute too.
Me too.
I was like, wait, hold up. Oh my. A lot can happen in a short amount of time. Wow.
It feels like just after 2020, these past 3 years have all just felt like one.
Yeah.
Like everything just slowed
Just a
down.
runoff.
Yeah.
Just connected. Like that's why I was like, oh wait, 2 years ago. Isn't it still 2020? But it's not. 2020 is not eternal. Here we are.
Thank God.
Thank God. So I have an icebreaker. Okay. And we haven't done these in a while. You guys excited?
No.
And it's
I'm
not
excited.
a question. And it's not a question this time. I'm going to have you get out of your element, maybe. You consider yourself a funny guy?
My wife thinks so.
Okay.
So yes.
Yes.
So yes, if your wife says, if a girl says you're funny, you're usually funny.
Okay.
Probably
Unless
not.
she's
Women
lying.
aren't funny.
You need to shut
No, I'm
up.
kidding.
You have no room to talk. Shh. What? Okay. Shh. Actually, no. Since you want to talk, you could start off the icebreaker thing. Okay?
I don't even know what it is.
Well, you're going to find out.
Is it jokes?
It's not a joke. It's something that Grace and Emily came up with, who are behind the cameras. Say your favorite vegetable into the mic in a weird voice.
None of them. I eat no vegetables.
That's
Are you serious?
I don't either.
In a weird.
I don't.
Say your favorite vegetable or fruit, because
right, fruit.
y'all are so unhealthy.
I'll go.
Okay, yeah.
It's got to be my favorite though. Not my favorite.
What's your favorite? So do your favorite. Or if you have a
What are
list
you
of
expecting
favorites
from us?
If you have a list of favorites, choose
tomato.
one and say, yeah, like that, like in a weird voice. Say it in a weird voice.
I think he should go first.
Okay, go.
Just turn into Yoda. Am I going with fruit? I guess.
Oh my gosh.
Orange.
There you go. Yay, you did it. That's it. That's the icebreaker.
Okay.
They came up with it. Okay.
That might be the worst icebreaker we've ever had.
But it loosens things up, doesn't it?
No.
Yes.
Yes. I made you say
Could make it a little bit more awkward.
Yeah, I kind of like it, though. I feel good. Y'all are just strange.
No, I think it's funny.
I mean, it's funny, but
Yeah, it's funny.
All right, you go, Chris.
Oh, me?
yes.
Yeah. Nice.
Give me a second. Corn.
Why'd you laugh before you say it?
It was in a weird voice. That could be
Corn. Dang, I gotta think now.
I'm gonna just pull up the country one. Is that okay?
Yeah,
That's fine.
Yeah.
Mater.
Mater, like tomato. Oh, I just hear. I see the truck cars in the back. I was like mater.
Like a tomato.
Like tomato.
Yeah, tomato. There you go.
I was like, I think tomato. Remember?
Yeah, it's tomato.
It's tomato.
Probably sick.
All right. I'm gonna do a fruit.
Why don't you eat vegetables?
I just don't like.
We just don't eat vegetables. I don't know.
All right.
Strawberries.
Oh, dude, that was good.
No.
That was good. I think that was the winner. If there's a winner, that was the one.
Do it one more time.
I don't even know how I did.
Run it back. Run it back. Reload the thing.
Hold on, I gotta think. Strawberries.
Oh God.
That takes the cake.
Yeah, that was good.
That was good.
How do you do that?
I don't know.
Put that on a beat
What
drop.
other voices can you do?
Yeah.
I used to do the Joker. I can't anymore.
Wait, you can't?
I used to.
That was not that long ago. Try again.
Dude, there's a video of us at a sleepover just talking back and forth to each other in Batman and Joker voice at like 3 a.m.
My gosh.
3 a.m. Me and Sawyer is crazy.
Oh, it's so funny.
It's funny. All right.
Y'all up that late?
Because it's fun.
Why not? Okay. This isn't gonna work.
Ray, you want to have a conversation?
Wait, I'm thinking of the.
I don't know. I got these scars.
Okay.
Just getting in character.
Wanna know how I got these scars?
It's not the same. What happened? Your voice got deeper.
Joker. How'd you get those scars?
Hey, that's pretty good.
When I was. Wait, hold up. What did
My
he say?
father.
My father
Dude, that's
used to be a
good.
drinker. And one night he went off crazier than usual. Mommy got the kitchen knife to defend herself. He didn't like that.
Joker,
Not
no.
one bit.
Joker.
So, comes at her with a knife. Says, why so serious?
Why so serious, Joker?
Comes at me with a knife, sticks the blade in my mouth.
There's a moment
Says,
there.
why so serious? Let's put a smile on that face. And
There are no laws against the Pokemon. Batman.
there are no laws against the Pokemon Batman.
Joker, no. Michaela, we might have to cut this out.
I enjoyed that.
It was a little dark.
It's okay.
Dude, that movie
Things
is
go
awesome.
from 0 to 100 on this podcast. So I
Got a little pawnee Batman.
I don't know. Joker, no.
Can you do any other
Pokemon
voices?
Batman.
No,
No, that's it.
that's
Just
it.
the mater.
Just the mater.
Man,
A one-trick pony.
is that how you got your wife? It was the impression of the mater, wasn't it?
It was.
It was that
Yeah.
sealed the deal.
Yeah.
She said yes.
Hey, girl.
You want to go down there to the river and eat some maters?
You ever seen someone drive backwards?
She was like, absolutely.
She's like that is the winner.
Yeah, that's how I got her.
That's my husband.
It's at that moment I knew
Yeah.
that was the match for me. That's
No,
what the conversation
I actually
was.
met her on the streets evangelizing. Yeah.
Nice. Yeah.
Oh wow. Oh wow. With the mater impression.
With the mater impression. Yeah.
Y'all
God
want to
can
meet
move
Jesus?
through anybody.
Jesus.
Oh my goodness. Now let's get into
Too serious.
now.
Just play it.
Let's just take a breath.
Whenever you go to transition, you go like you're playing a massive piano note. It's just all at once.
C minor.
It's the. I was gonna say something, but I'm not gonna say it anymore.
okay.
Yep, we're not gonna say it.
I think I know
anymore.
where you were going, but it's fine.
Where was I going?
Nothing.
Say it. No. We can cut it out. I just want to hear it. No. I was gonna make a joke about me being black.
What?
I was like, it's the black soul in me, but no.
But you're Puerto Rican.
Oregon.
I'm mixed, so I'm Puerto Rican and Guyanese. Yeah.
Yeah, she told me I'm honorary Caribbean.
Yeah, he's on because he knows
have no
how
idea.
he can dance bachata very well.
Oh, come on, bro.
Yeah, like it's really surprising. Like I
love to
went to
dance.
teach him, and then he started getting Dominican on me, and I was like,
Like, I don't even know what that means.
me and Chris.
It means you
both-
had some rhythm.
Yeah, he does. Me and Chris both stared at him. We're like,
I just like to
where'd
dance.
that come from?
I can't do that.
Yeah, he started half stepping. I was like, oh my. Yeah, he's pretty good at it. So
That's
he's honorary
good.
Caribbean.
That's good.
Yeah.
He's invited to the cookout.
Yeah, he is. He is all the cookouts. Man, you know what? I didn't have one this year. I went to everybody else's, but I didn't have one.
Do you have like a annual like family cookout?
We don't. It's just like whoever's bored is like, hey, you wanna cook? And then suddenly like there's 50 people at your doorstep and you gotta feed them.
Yeah.
Good time.
Yeah,
It is good times.
Like I guess I did have one this year for my graduation party, and you brought that random person I never met over. That's just how it is.
Lyndon.
Yeah.
Lyndon.
Then I
What a
met
guy.
Lyndon. Shout out to Lyndon. I know you
love
be
that
listening.
guy. He
but-
listens to this.
But yeah, that's just how it is. So you're invited to whenever I throw another one.
Okay, cool.
Good job.
There we go.
You made it.
I
it.
met the requirements.
The cookout requirements. Maybe you'll meet out cookout requirements for somebody one day.
Okay.
Yeah, we'll see how this podcast goes.
Yeah.
I'm joking.
It's okay.
Okay. But in all seriousness, you are here to share your testimony with us.
Yes.
Yes, and we're all very excited. We are very excited. Brian talked highly of you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, thank you, Brian.
Yeah.
I talk highly about him. He's an amazing man. Yeah.
He is funny.
He's doing such good stuff with, with the youth and just in general. So I'm super excited to be here.
There's really like no question to transition. You ready?
I'm ready.
You ready?
Yeah.
All right. Unload it.
Unload it.
Unload it.
All right. Well, first of all, like when I share my testimony, obviously, like I'm going back, right? But I just want to make everybody know that it's giving God the glory. You know, I look at it from the perspective of being saved now, you know? And so I'm going to talk about some yucky stuff and talk about some things that I've been through. And it's not like I'm, you know, wallowing in the stuff that I've been through, right? I'm giving God the glory because he's taken me out of all that and he's brought me into this amazing life with Jesus. And I love you guys' podcast. It's Gen Free, right?
Yep.
And so it's all about living free in Jesus. And that's what he's brought me into.
Yeah.
And I believe that he can bring anybody into the freedom of Christ. And so, but I didn't grow up in a Christian household. My dad was in the military. And so I was actually born on a military base in South Dakota. I don't really claim South Dakota when people ask me like where I'm from. Nothing against South Dakotans. You know what I mean?
South Dakota.
I don't know.
It's one of those places, so I can understand why you
It's
don't
one of
claim
those
it.
places,
Yeah.
right? And when my parents got divorced, I was 4 years old. And I went to live with my dad primarily. And so me, my dad, my older brother, we went to Georgia. And my mom just stayed in South Dakota. And when I was 5 years old, the following year, my dad pulled me and my older brother into the living room. And he told us that my older brother, who was 9 at the time, I was 5, is adopted. And he's not my real brother, full blood brother. And he's going to go live with your mom. Apparently, like his dad got out of prison at this time and wanted to like restart the relationship with him. And so he kind of like left my life, never again lived with me and my dad before or after that. And after that, the following year, my dad got with another woman. And this is a theme throughout his life, is that he had a lot of women in his life. But the following year, he got with another woman, and she had a 16-year-old son. And so that son began molesting me when I was 6 years old. And he would do all kinds of things to me. Like when they would leave, he would like lock me in. He would put on like a Jason mask, and he would get like a machete, and he would like lock me in a closet on top of all the, you know, the abuse, the sexual abuse as well. So it went from like having like this big brother, you know, safety to having like this, you know, monster. I know he wasn't a monster. It was just the sin in him, and who knows what he went through as a kid. But it was rough, you know, in the moment, like when you're 6 years old, you don't really know what is actually happening to you. So it didn't really catch up until later on, like middle school. in middle school, is when the reality of what happened and the reality of just also my parents being divorced and just my dad always having a different woman figure in my life. And so there was just this brokenness, this confusion of my identity. Right. And especially sexually, like my just identity was so broken. I didn't know in middle school, like I didn't know if I was like gay, didn't know if I was bi, didn't know if I was straight, you know? And so I would actually act that out. You know what I mean? I would experiment with both genders. And then I started using drugs. You know, a coping mechanism of mine was like, I want the pain to go away. I want the confusion to go away. And so I'm going to get high. Yeah. Right. And so I started drinking when I was 9, started using marijuana when I was 13. And then by the time I was 14, I was already a full-blown meth addict. And so I was using drugs, just numbing all the pain. And then something happened when I was 15. When I was 15, I was lured. I was shot up with crystal meth. And I was lured into this hotel room, and with the expectation, the guy was 26, I was 15, with the expectation of there's going to be women in the hotel room, and there wasn't, and he actually ended up raping me. But it was weird though. I mean, the whole thing was absolutely horrible and evil. But the weird thing within me was there was this perversion in my thinking, right? Of I kind of want this to happen, you know, because I was just so sexually confused. And so there wasn't like no fighting back and this and that. But that was kind of like the catalyst in my life of just like a breaking point. You know, after this moment, I just went to the abyss. And what I mean by that is I just went as hard as I could every day, every moment of just getting high. And that lasted for 10 years, 11 years, till I was 24. So 10 years. And then when I was 24, you know, I'm going to skip a lot in between that. You know, there was a period of me like going into the military. I was in the Army for 3 years and had some brief sobriety, but not much. And then went to Afghanistan. And when I came back from Afghanistan, it's just like all the stuff that happened in Afghanistan coupled with all the stuff that happened in my youth, you know, it just triggered and exploded. And I just went back to what I knew, right? And that's drinking and using drugs to cope and to suppress, to escape. And so they ended up actually chaptering me out of the military. They diagnosed me with PTSD and chaptered me out. I didn't get a dishonorable discharge. Got a general under honorable. So I still have like all the benefits and everything, which is a total blessing. But when I got out of the military, I went back so I'm originally, I know we talked about South Dakota. Yeah. Both sides of my family, my mom and my dad, all their family are from North Carolina, Smoky Mountains, North Carolina, a little town called Franklin. But I was actually raised in Hawaii. Oh, wow. There's a whole, that sounds so confusing, right? South Dakota, North Carolina, Hawaii.
So you were born in South Dakota. All your family's from this part, Franklin, North Carolina. But you were raised in Hawaii.
Yeah.
Okay.
I spent a total of 16 years in Hawaii.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. I went to middle school there and I went to high school there. And then when I got out of the military, in the part that I'm going to tell you in a minute, I spent another 8 years. But when I got out of the military, I went back to North Carolina for a little bit. And when I was there, like I said, I just went back to what I knew. And so I was getting high. I was selling drugs just to feed my habit. And I was with my older brother, and we were actually going to a family barbecue. Talking about barbecues earlier, you know. It's funny it all comes back to the barbecue. It all came back. We were going to a family barbecue, and I was with my older brother, and we got pulled over by the cops. And like it's such a small town, you know what I mean? Like we know like who the cops are, and it was the K-9 unit, and so my thinking back then was really irrational, obviously. you know? And so my thinking was, I'm going to eat all this instead of possibly take a charge and go to jail. And so I had 4 grams of crystal meth and like a bunch of oxycodone, and which is a lot to just digest, you know? And so I did, though. I ate it all. And my brother was the one driving, so he was the one talking to the cop. And he was outside the car talking to the cop for probably like 20 minutes, and they just gave us a warning for an expired tag. And so by the time he got back into the car and they let us go, it just hit me. Like everything that I did just digested just hit me so hard. And I don't even remember the ride back to, all I did was like lean back and tell him, just get me to my mom's, you know? And so I don't remember the ride at all. Apparently we get to my mom's and I go inside the house and I'm like looking for something to eat to get on my stomach, you know? And my little brother is there and he says, no, he's not okay. We got to take him to the hospital. And I don't remember any of this. The only thing that I do remember is being on a gurney, going into the hospital and looking up at the nurse and saying, am I going to be okay? And for the longest time, I thought it was her that said, we don't know, we're going to be praying. But apparently I found this out years later, that my little brother was actually the one saying that. And he was actually in the back seat, like praying the whole time. Oh, wow. And so I go into the hospital, and because of all the crystal meth, my heart it got over 200 beats per minute, and then it just gave out. And so I ended up flatlining for 45 seconds, and then they had to paddle me back. And then I flatlined again for another 45 seconds, and then they paddled me back. And so I end up like technically, you know, dying for almost 2 minutes.
Yeah.
And I didn't have no like encounter in the hospital room. I know people that have, you know, one of my good friends, William Wood, had an amazing encounter in the hospital where, you know, an angel of the Lord walked through the wall, but that didn't happen to me, you know? You know, I said earlier that I didn't grow up in the church. One memory that I do have about the church is that my grandma played the organ for a Southern Baptist church, right? Oh, wow. And so there would be periods in my life where we would go back down to we would go back to North Carolina, Franklin, North Carolina, and I would walk to this church with my grandfather, right? And there's, you know, so that was a seed of Jesus in my life. And there's one thing that I knew about Jesus is that he was light, right? So what happened to me in that hospital was when I died, it was just dark. Those 2 minutes, almost 2 minutes of me being under, like it was just complete darkness, right? And so when I finally came to, I spent 5 days in ICU. Well, that darkness, me knowing that Jesus is light, kind of like put a fear in me of like, I need to get help, you know, or I'm going to die or I'm going to go to jail for the rest of my life, you know? So it put this fear in me of wanting to get help. And I called my dad. My dad was actually there. Actually, he was like hand feeding me in the hospital. It's crazy because he was living in Hawaii, right? He just happened to be there in North Carolina at this time, which is rare. And so he had left after the fact because he had to go back to Hawaii. But we were in the works of like getting me into a rehab in Hawaii. It was a rehab facility for veterans. And we started that process. And I went back to my mom's house, and then all the drugs started coming out of my system, and I started going through like heavy withdrawals. All right. So I did something not too smart. Even though we were in the process of, you know, going to rehab in Hawaii and figuring all that out, when all the withdrawals started coming, I actually went and I broke into this house, and I ended up robbing this house, and I stole a whole bunch of firearms, a whole bunch of jewelry. And like I said, my thinking was irrational. It's kind of obvious, you know, with everything that I'm saying, but I pawned all this jewelry in the pawn shop in my hometown. So it's super small, right? And so
it's like obvious.
Right. It's not going to take them long to figure out like who did it, right? And so the detective actually, he ends up, I forgot how he got my number. I think he just went to my mom's and got it off like, her or one of my brothers, but he ends up calling me. And I actually just own up to everything. He comes and picks me up, takes me to my mom's house. I didn't do anything with the guns just yet, so they were just sitting like in the bedroom. Ended up giving them all the guns, and they took me to the police station, and I gave them my statement. It was 8 felonies. Right? It was 2 counts of each of these: possession of stolen firearms, grand larceny, breaking and entering, and burglary. The reason why it was 2 counts is because I went back twice. So I took the stuff to my house. It was a house like through the woods. And so I just went and then came back and then went again. So it's 8 felonies. And then I'm giving them my statement. They arrest me. And then they do something that is weird. They give me an unsecured $50,000 bond. And so what that means is that you don't need a bondsman. You don't need any money. All you can just sign yourself out. Right? What? Yeah. It's like unheard of. Crazy.
That's insane.
Yeah, it's insane. And so I literally, right when I sign myself out of jail, I run back to my mom's. And then the next day I hop on a plane and I fly to Hawaii. And I run. It's basically what I'm saying is I run, right? I get away from it all. And I was talking to my lawyer. So I go to Hawaii. I check myself into this rehab facility. I'm talking to my lawyer for a period of time. But then it just kind of stops, and I'm just in this run mentality, right? But I'm in this rehab facility now, and mind you, I still don't have a relationship with Jesus, right? I know about him. That fear of him being light was still there, and so I'm doing everything in the flesh. And if you do everything in the flesh, you guys know how that is. It's just like friction. It's impossible to maintain. And I'm sober for like 3 months. And I actually go to a Christmas party with my dad, and we end up drinking, and I go back to the rehab facility and end up getting into a fight. And when I got into a fight, they kicked me out of the rehab facility the next day. All right. So now here I am. I'm like homeless, have no money. All I have is a phone, a skateboard, and like a book bag. And I'm on like this back road area of Hawaii. There's really nothing around. And I'm just like laying on the dirt ground. And I'm looking up at the sky, and I'm like crying out to God, this God that I don't know. And I'm asking him like, why did this happen? Like, I finally thought I was doing the right thing. You know what I mean? Yeah. Like being sober in rehab, trying to do what is right. How did this happen? Why did it happen? And I get this phone call. My phone rings in this moment. And it's this lady who did my intake into the rehab facility. She had only met me one time. And she says, hey, this is going to sound weird, but God spoke to me and told me that I need to help you. And I'm like, how to? I'm like, what? I'm like, what are you talking about? And but at the same time, I have nothing. Yeah. Right? I have nothing in my life. And so I'm not going to say no. And she's also breaking all the rules, right? If you know anything about like not going out of the work environment of like counseling and addiction specialists and all that, they're not supposed to do this, right? So she's breaking the rules, but she's following the voice of God. And so she actually comes and picks me up, her and her sister, and they take me to another rehab facility in town. And then a week later, I was actually able to get back into the main one, the one for veterans. And so when that happened, this sparked like an amazing relationship between me and her. But also, she had a 4-year-old daughter, right? And her name was Kiana De La Cruz. The mother is Lahela De La Cruz. And me and this 4-year-old daughter just became like besties. We became like besties. We were joined at the hip. Her dad was not in her life. Her mom was a Christian. Her dad was not a Christian. He was atheist. And so I became like kind of like a father figure in her life, and I know now that it was the kindness of God, that leads a man to repentance. And in that moment, it was the kindness of him, knowing that I needed the innocence of a child to restore my soul that was broken with all the stuff that had to happen to me as a child. So shortly after that, there was a church near the rehab facility. And I go to this church. It was a Foursquare church, and I end up giving my life to Jesus. I don't remember what the message was about, right? All I know is that I had tried everything, and I'm going to try Jesus. And so I did the salvation prayer and kept going back. But really, it was the family aspect of the church, right, that kept me going back. It wasn't that I had this amazing encounter with God in the beginning. It was when I went there, coming from a broken home and broken family, I felt this love from these people, or that I never knew growing up. And so it drew me back again and again and again. Yeah. And then discipleship started to take place, and, I just started growing. But mind you, now I have this humongous shadow over my life, right, of all these charges in North Carolina. Yeah. And I just keep feeling and hearing what I know now is the voice of God. I just had this sense, that the Lord was telling me, don't go back. It's okay. Just stay with me and it'll be all right. And so that's what I did. I just kept it like my little hidden secret a little bit, and kept going back to church, serving him. And as sooner or later, it's like 5 years flies by, Wow. And at this point, I've been living with the Lord. So much has changed in my character. I'm completely sober, been sober for a while now. My mind's been renewed. Yeah. And so now I'm at this point where I'm okay if I were to go to prison, And so I actually start to test that. And what I mean by test that is I start applying for jobs that would do fingerprints, that would take my fingerprints and do background checks. And so I actually go and I apply for a job to work with preschool kids at the Salvation Army to become you laughing. Hey, if you're going to test it, you might as well go all in, right? You know what I mean? I mean, I got 8 felonies. I'm going to go work with kids.
Yeah. I don't mean to laugh, but then you were like, let me just
might as well go all in,
That's crazy.
Yeah, because I was actually already working in the Salvation Army, but in the gym portion of it. Like they had like a fitness center, and I'd already been working there for 2 years. But in the fitness center, they're not going to take background checks or anything. Not no fingerprints, at least. But to work with kids, they will. Yeah. And so I did, and sure enough, my fingerprints come up hot. All right. And so I have to go to the Department of Human Services. They call me and I have to go to the Department of Human Services. So they pull me in this room and I'm talking to this guy. And it's like, if you ever seen CSI or, those cop shows, it was just like that, man. For real. They had a binder, you know what I mean? One of those little yellow notebooks and stuff. And he's like, he's bringing up my military career and going all into that. And then he's like, in 2011, were you caught with possession of stolen firearms? Immediately when he said that, I'm like, oh man, I'm about to go to prison. I was like, the fed's about to come in here and bust open the doors. And I'm just like, FBI, right? You know what I mean? I've seen this before. Yeah. This is a movie. Yeah. And I just keep owning up to it. I'm like, I just keep saying yes, 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 yes to all this stuff. And at the end of it, he said, well, it's a good thing that all of those charges were dismissed. Oh. Yeah. That was my reaction. Yeah. Inside, though, I had to keep it cool on the outside. Right? I had to keep it cool on the outside. Oh. But inside. Right? Wow. Yeah. On the inside, I was freaking out. Because I just couldn't understand how. Yeah. You know what I mean? Obviously, I know how. It's Jesus. He just can do things like that. I don't. In the physical, I don't know how he did it. Yeah. Got some paperwork mixed up or something. You know what I mean? Who knows, right? But yeah, all the charges were actually dismissed, and I actually ended up getting the job. And so I worked with preschool kids for about 6 months. It was about all I could take. You can edit that part. I can't take it. Listen, I'm good with middle school, high school, young adults. But when it's like, first of all, I was the only dude. All right.
Yeah.
Working at this preschool. It was all, and I mean, I got tats all over my body. You know what I mean? So like I'm this one guy and it's a 1 to 10 child ratio. So it's like, man, I had this one kid. He would just mock me.
No.
You know, like during nap time, right? Yeah. Like you had to put him down. And I actually knew his parents. And so I'm not going to say his name or anything, but I'd be like, hey, if you don't go to sleep, I'm going to have to tell your parents. He's like, and he would be like, and he would just mock me, bro. I mean, there's 4. Yeah, 4.
Yeah, tell my parents. Who do you think?
Do it, I dare you.
Yeah.
He's like, have fun with that one.
I'm going to watch the Backyardigans later.
Right. So 6 months was good. I think it trained me. It prepped me for this season I'm about to enter into with my son, though. But no, and then what's cool as well is I didn't have insurance when I went to the hospital. So I had $30,000 of hospital debt, right? About a year prior to this moment of me applying for this job and finding out all those charges were dismissed, I called to look up my debt and I wanted to pay it there. And it was on my record, right? Well, around the same time that those charges were dismissed, I called back and wanted to find out about this debt so I can start making payments. All the $30,000 was wiped off my record.
Only God.
It's only God. Yeah. Yeah. And so God is amazing.
Yeah.
You know, that's my testimony in a snippet. You know, there's way more to it, obviously. But then shortly after that, I came to Mechanicsburg, Pennsylvania.
What brought you out here?
The Lord. Yeah, no. I mean, yes, the Lord. So I actually started youth pastoring after all that I just told you about. Became the youth pastor of the Foursquare Church and
wanted to test your fingerprints further.
Yeah, you know, wanted to test my fingerprints further. And I youth pastored for about 3 years. And it was a Pentecostal church, a Foursquare Church, but there, I didn't know anything like about the gifts of the Spirit, the Holy Spirit, nothing of that, you know. And then I started pastoring with this other pastor who was 10 years younger than me. And we would do this thing called, what was it called? I totally forget the name.
It's okay. What was the concept?
Tent ministry.
There we go. Never mind.
Because we had a middle school and we had a high school like right across the street from our church. And so what we would do is we would like take a tent, pop it up, and we would give out waters, food, and he would sit there and worship, and then we would pray and just meet them on the streets, you know? And
Nice.
But he would like pray for people and they would be healed, right? He would prophesy what I know now as prophecy, and he would say these elaborate things about their life. And it was just like, what is this, you know? And I'd ask him, I was like, bro, what are you doing? You know, what are you doing? He's like, bro, I just been watching Todd White, man. And so that was kind of like my entrance, right? And then he told me about this other ministry. It's called Kingdom Living Oahu. And I started doing that. And it was in that ministry actually where I had a lot of deliverance, a lot of breakthrough. I was in worship one day, and this man, his name was Samuel, he comes and lays his hand on my back and he says, "Strong tower, today the soldier dies and the soldier cannot enter into the bridal chambers." Immediately, like when he said that, I'm sure you guys have heard this. It's just like liquid love, right? Just came over my life. And I just started crying for like an hour on the ground. And it completely changed me.
Yeah.
Right. It was this prior to that, you know, the whole, divorce, my dad always having women in his life. I always had to strive and earn, or at least felt like I had to strive or earn. So that correlated to my reality of who the father was. And, I did that through works, you know? And so in that moment though, all that was broken off completely. And I just was completely changed. Then found out about GSSM. So GSSM is, I'm sure you guys know, it's a school in Mechanicsburg, Pennsylvania. You don't know?
GSSM, no.
Oh, do you know?
Stand for?
I've heard of it.
Do you know? Wow. You guys are like 35 minutes away.
I've only lived here for like 7 years, and I'm just exploring what this place does.
7 years is a long
7 years is a long
It's a
time.
long time. Yes.
Yeah.
But that but literally we only go to Philly and Florida. That's it. So
Yeah.
yeah. So what's JSS?
It's G.
Oh, it's a G. Never mind. What is G?
So it's Global School of Supernatural Ministry.
Oh wait, I do know what this is.
There we go. It's coming to you.
You don't have to say the full name.
Yeah. I guess. Yeah. Acronyms can mess people up, but.
Just ignore me. Continue.
But GSSM is like so Global Awakening is like the parent company, right? Mm-hmm. And so within Global Awakening, you have all these other departments, and so Global School of Supernatural Ministry is one of them. And so I actually work for Global Awakening now, but I work for a whole different department. I work for the network department. Okay. But anyways, I found out, I met these two guys in Hawaii. They did this school, right? And it's the Randy Clark's Global School of Supernatural Ministry. And so I'm like lying in my bed in Hawaii now, and I'm like half asleep, half awake, and I hear the audible voice of God for the very first time in my life. The only time. Mm-hmm. And all he says is, Ron. The name Ron. Right? And so
when you said that, it's like, did he say run or Ron?
Yeah. No, it's Ron. Ron.
That could be two very different things.
I know it can. Ron was a person, he was one of the two people that did the school who I met. And I was very drawn to him in particular. Mm-hmm. And so the Lord just used his name. And then when I woke up, now I'm having this conversation with God, like, why? You could say anything that you want to say to me, and you say another man's name, you know? I'm like, this is weird, you know? But I start having like this internal dialogue with God now. And he tells me to hop on the computer and sign up for this 3-week school in Mechanicsburg, Pennsylvania, called Global School Intensive. It's part of GSSM. You do a 3-week school. And so I did. And I came to that 3-week school with every intention of going back to Hawaii and pastoring the youth and continuing on with my life. But when I went to this school, the Lord started saying, I want you to do the whole school. And I had a problem with that. You know what I mean? Just being honest.
Yeah.
First of all, it's Hawaii.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah, and then Mechanicsburg.
Yeah, right. I've never been to Pennsylvania, so it was a little weird. Yeah. But no, I had a foundation for the first time in my life, you know? I'm walking with the Lord. I'm living holy and doing amazing things for God. And I have a family, a church family, you know? Mm-hmm. And so it was hard. It's like to give all that up and move to a foreign land, you know? But I was obedient. I told him yes, and I went back to Hawaii, and I sold everything that I owned. I didn't have a lot, and I came out, my pastors like blessed the move and came out, and that's where I met my wife and have my son. Yeah, me and my wife met at first year. Yeah. And then just had a son, and yeah.
Nice.
Wow. Yeah. It all unfolded from there.
It all unfolded from there.
To where you are now.
To where I am now.
Mechanicsburg, Pennsylvania.
It's going down. Mechanicsburg, Pennsylvania. And York.
In York. Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I was wondering. You had said your brother who had was adopted and then had went back and started a relationship with his dad. Did you ever reconnect and stay in contact throughout your life?
Yeah. So yes, we never lived together again, but yeah, we have stayed in contact.
That's awesome.
Wait, so he was the one driving the car?
He was the one driving the car.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then my little brother is the one that was praying. Mm-hmm. Right. I found that out because when I came here, we all three struggled with addiction. My older brother is actually still in addiction. He's still lost, and I think he's actually in jail right now. There's been a lot of disconnect with him now. And so, pray for him. His name is Dustin.
Got it.
My little brother is doing good. He ended up doing 5 years in prison. He was a prison guard. Some stuff happened and he did 5 years, but when I came to the school, he was actually in a prison in Maryland. And so I was able to see him for the first time in like a long time. Mm-hmm. And then that's when he shared that with me, that he was, praying in the back seat. Right. And so it was amazing, but he's doing good. He's got a church he's going to, doing great.
Nice. That's good. It's awesome, man.
Yeah.
Just say,
yeah.
It's interesting how God can just do 360s in someone's life.
It is.
Yeah, it's just, I think that's what to say to me when I hear your testimony, other people's testimonies. God is such a good father.
He is.
At the end of the day.
Yeah.
It's just, like, brings a smile to my face. And that's really all I got nothing else to say.
Yeah, I mean, from your testimony, I mean, sometimes it's easy to picture God doing like the supernatural stuff, but then like with the things like with the $30,000 debt or the charges, those just being supernaturally wiped away can be harder to picture for someone. And I just think those things are incredible and just such a blessing, and have definitely helped you to get where you are now. And I think that's awesome.
Yeah, it is amazing.
It's like God could do that for other people. Like sometimes he
does it all the time.
Exactly.
That's just his nature. You know, he's just a good father that loves. You know, I was just preaching on like Acts 9 and Paul. You know, Saul at the moment, but you take this. It's like he was an individual that he wasn't even repentant in that moment, right? He wasn't even. He was actively pursuing Christians to kill them and throw them in prison, right? And just the sovereignty of God and His goodness and His nature just met him on the road to Damascus and interrupted his life and changed him completely. Yeah. You know, and then took him through this amazing process of coming to know that he is the Messiah. And so that story amazes me because it's like God can change a person even when they don't want to change.
Yeah.
Or even when they don't even have a thought to change, right? He can change them in an instant. Yeah. Right? Now, I think repentance is helpful, though. You know what I mean? Sure. But there's plenty of stories that he interrupts people's life even when they are actively doing evil.
Yeah, I mean, in my story, when I was at my lowest and my mom brought me to one of Brian's meetings, and then I proceeded to meet all of these guys and Brian. I did not want to be there. She wanted to. She was the one who brought me there, and then I in that moment was distinctly affected by that service, and God met me, even though I wasn't open to it. Yeah. And I didn't really want to. I had grown up in a church, but it wasn't very youth oriented. It was a lot of old people. Yeah. And then me and my sisters were the youngest people there, besides little kids. And so. I knew about God and I knew about some of the stuff He did, but it wasn't really real to me. And we it was hard getting up on Sunday mornings and going, whereas now it's something we love doing and look forward to. Come on. He just completely halted my life and completely changed it in a different direction because I was dealing with addiction, suicide, and depression and anxiety. But He stopped me in my tracks and met me, and then subsequently all of those things have left my life. So good, man. Yeah. So good.
It's Trina's fault.
Yeah.
Thank God for Trina. That's his mom.
Yeah. Praise the Lord for cool Trina. Yeah. She said mater. Yeah, I'm
going to be like, say tomato.
Say tomato.
Mater. I really feel like she would. I gotta test it out. Call your mother after this. Let me talk.
I don't think she's gonna say it. She says tomato. I don't think she's gonna say tomato.
But she's gonna say it with an accent that's gonna sound like tomato.
She's from the South?
Yeah, she grew up in Virginia, and I grew up traveling back and forth.
Her voice is so lovely. It's it's
like my mom.
My mom. Your mom has Southern accent.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Everyone in my family, besides me and my sisters, has accents.
What's it like having a mom with a cool accent, like a nice accent? Your mom has a New York accent. My mom has a Philly accent, so it's just rough. Yeah. We don't got the butter voices. Your mom has a butter voice.
The butter voice.
Yeah, it's like smooth, the smooth southernness. I got
ours is like straight tough.
It's just straight tough, straight hood with a mix of English and Spanish. I make fun of her though because she says
coffee and
she does say
coffee. I'll make you a
Don't
coffee.
do Neil Dog like that. Don't do Neil Dog like that. I love
you.
I'm gonna call your mom after this.
You don't have my mom's number.
I could figure it out. Trina loves me. Trina loves me. You did not hear our 2-hour-long conversation when I was over.
2-hour-long conversation.
Yeah, while you guys were playing outside.
I had a bunch of them over to play wiffle ball.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, it was great.
Do y'all play pickleball?
Seth
I
and Noah,
have.
two
They love
of his
My
friends,
two best friends
his two
play
best friends who are also best friends with my brother.
This this popular here. What I noticed.
What is it? Like I hear about it.
Well, it's like this. It's kind of
It's
like,
like tennis, but
the
shorter and like
4 squares.
the paddles are like straight wood.
Yeah.
Apparently, it's like reviving across the country.
Yeah, it's definitely
there's
like
a
grown in
pickleball
popularity.
revival.
It is. Like there's a court right by my house, and they are there all the time.
Yeah.
Like, but it looks so fun.
I mean, it's great to see
It
kids
is fun.
outside.
It's hard to.
Yeah, it is.
I played
It
one
is
time.
fun.
You
and-
did?
Yeah.
Were you good?
I'm getting old.
Especially old.
35.
You need a.
My
You're
bones,
only
man.
35. You're only 35.
That's true. I need to start speaking life. I'm so
35. Yeah.
so young.
Yeah.
You know-
I'm the
you know what I
pickleball
heard?
champion of the world.
There you go. Speak it into
I
existence.
know. Yeah.
God
But,
takes you down the road of
honestly-
youth pastoring with pickleball.
Yeah.
And you just become like the largest pickleball player ever.
Let's do it. I see a
That'd
vision
be
right now.
awesome.
It could be that you have a kid now. Because I know my mom had me young and she started feeling old as soon as I was born. So it could just be the kid.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It could be.
It could just be your son.
I mean, my back definitely hurts.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. But like, yeah, that could be it.
Yeah.
Everything just go downhill. Well, physically, apparently, when you have kids, according to most people. I don't know. That could be why your back hurts at 35. Who knows?
It could be.
Who knows? That could be.
It could be.
Yeah, you never know. Anyways, 51 minutes in, we told you it'd be longer. We told you it'd lead more. That's when you said 40 minutes.
did
I was
good.
like, no, it's not going to be 40 minutes.
We made it under an hour.
Yeah.
Wait under an hour.
The
But it's always
longest
about
we've
that.
gone is with Will Hart. We went like,
115,
him.
right?
oh, I love him too. I think we went like an hour 15.
Yeah. It was an insanely long episode.
Yeah, the back of his head's up there.
Yeah. This is there.
At the back of Will Hart's head. Hello.
Silkier.
Oh, you know what? I was thinking about the Shout this year, which is the conference that Brian does.
In Albuquerque.
He's doing
Yeah. New Life City.
Yeah. But is it just me? Do you remember when he first walked on stage this year? He looked like a Dominican with the floral shirt and the shoes and the tight
Dude, he was
pants.
wearing so
Yeah,
tight
I was
pants.
like,
I have no idea
You
what
just stood
this
there.
does not stick out in my mind.
You said Brian.
not
You
like
said
you.
Brian looked Dominican.
no, Will Hart. Because at that point I was with this guy who was Dominican and
see
we
if
both
I-
look at him
let me
and
see
we
if I
just
can put
stare
up.
at each other. Because it was the jeans, man. But I don't know.
tight
I
It was the
I just thought
jeans.
about
Really
it.
tight.
Yeah, they were like, and then the shoes pointed. I was done. I was done. I
Forget
rolled.
what shirt he was wearing.
Do you have the picture?
I'm looking to see what I have.
See, this is our chill time now. Now we
Caleb put up a picture
Good.
of Will Hart.
Will Hart in his floral t-shirt and skinny jeans. Yup. Wait, no, that's not it.
That's not the
He had
outfit.
the one he had with the floral shirt. He's like, "Hello, y'all." I was
I don't
like,
think I have that one.
and then he started praying in Spanish. I was like, "Oh, it's come true."
It's come true.
Me gusta la leche.
Now we gotta find
I don't
this
think I have
picture.
one.
You can do it.
I don't think I have
But it was the skinniest jeans ever.
You wear some skinny jeans.
I have him in a
I was
different
like,
pair of
"Can you
jeans.
breathe?"
Different pair of jeans.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think I have it.
Yeah. Anyways,
Put up a picture of a guy in skinny jeans. That's
Yeah.
Will Hart.
that was Will Hart. I wonder if we have a picture somewhere. Maybe
I mean,
we do.
it's there. It's just you can't.
I
see
mean,
it.
we could screenshot it from the service.
You're right. We need.
We'll find it. We'll find it.
I'm a certified Dominican. Just post it on our page, no reason.
Invited
Side
to
by
the
side. Side by side.
Invited to the cookout.
Anyways, I want to thank you for coming on here
Yeah,
and
thank you guys.
being vulnerable with what God did with your life.
Yeah.
Yeah, thank you.
Incredible, man.
Yeah. Thank you so much for having me. It's a blessing.
Yeah.
You are invited to the next cookout.
I'm on.
Yeah.
I will cook
You
something
made it.
too. I will bring something. Yeah.
What are you gonna cook?
What's your favorite dish to cook?
Yeah.
You're not gonna know it. Oh, to cook.
Try me.
It's okay.
Yeah.
Oh, I've never cooked this. I thought you said my favorite dish.
What's your
so
favorite
my
dish?
favorite dish is actually it's a dish called lechon kawali. You know
No
what that is?
idea.
Lechon, like pig?
Yeah. See, you
Yeah,
know.
yeah,
come
yeah, yeah.
on, come on.
Lechon.
It's actually a Filipino dish. Hawaii is like a melting pot with different cultures, and so it's crispy pork with tomatoes and
Tomatoes.
onion. That one got me.
Like pernil.
And onions, and then you put it on a bed of rice. And then there's like the sauce that they pour over it.
Yeah.
So good.
Yeah, well, we make stuff like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What?
Oh, now my mouth's
Is it what, a
watering.
Puerto Rican dish?
There's something similar. It's just pernil. It's you get the pork shoulder, you crisp it up, you eat the skin. Oh,
Yeah.
the skin.
It's
is
definitely
so good.
something you cannot eat every day
Yeah.
because it's so unhealthy. You know what I mean? But it's delicious.
But we don't do tomato. We do it like rice.
Do you guys like Spam?
Yes.
Okay.
Praise God. So he's like, nah.
I haven't had it.
Bro, I bet you if I made my Spam dish, you would like it.
What is it? What do you do?
It's simple. So you get a can of Spam, you slice it into slices, and then you fry them. And then I like marinate them. Well, not really marinate them, but like I dip them in like this soy sauce and sugar mix. So it's like soy sauce and sugar. And then I cook it with runny eggs, it's like over easy eggs. So I get a bed of rice. I put the seasoning. You got to have the seasoning. The seasoning is what makes it. It's called a furikake.
Is it a Hawaiian thing?
It's Japanese.
It's Japanese.
And it's like seaweed with sesame seed. Put that over the rice, put the eggs on top, and then you put the Spam on top. It's
That
delicious.
sounds good.
I think
just
we make a
amazing.
new segment called Cooking with Ryan.
Yes.
It'd be good.
Yeah. You come on with like,
cooking
it'll be like a
episodes.
TikTok show.
Yeah.
Like, hello.
But I've had people that told me like they hate Spam, and then they've tried it and they
And then they
like it.
like it.
It depends on how you make it.
Yeah.
It depends on what you do with it.
Yeah.
I've never
I
tried
think we
it.
need to give it to him.
I don't know.
Spam used to be cheap.
It's expensive now.
Yeah,
they lock
it's
it
like-
up in Hawaii.
That's a struggle food. Like when I see struggle foods go viral or start like getting expensive, I'm like,
Yeah.
Inflation.
inflation.
It's
It's
inflation.
a can of spam. It's a can of spam. I saw the price. I was like,
Yeah. Everything's expensive now.
Yeah.
honestly.
I bought a candy bar the other day. It was like $2.50.
Oh my gosh.
Crazy.
Remember they're like 99 cents.
I remember 50 cent. You remember I'm 35, yeah.
So you would remember 50. I remember 99 cent a dollar. You can get a thing of gum.
The dollar menu at McDonald's no longer.
It's no longer that I can't get a $1 McChicken.
It's not there no more?
No, I don't think the dollar menu
It's
exists.
like
anymore.
$3.59 for a McChicken.
No, it's not.
Oh my gosh. We got to end this episode, but I'm gonna pull it up for you
Okay.
and show you this $3.59 McChicken.
Okay.
Going to
Crazy.
McDonald's.
We were gonna protest outside McDonald's.
Bring back the dollar menu.
Honestly, because I was talking about it. I was talking about with Felix, right? And because we were hungry, we wanted McDonald's, and then I was like, "They still got the dollar menu?" He's like, "No."
The dollar menu died.
I wanted to cry. We should close out in prayer.
Let's do it.
Yeah, can you close us out?
I would love to. And people are going to be watching this, right?
Yeah.
So I want to pray for everybody. Yeah, Father, I just thank you, God. I thank you for this amazing team here, and I thank you for what they're doing, how they're just hosting your presence, Lord, and how they're using their arts, using their gifts, using the gifts that you have given them, God, to just bless everybody that comes on here, but everybody that is watching as well, Lord. And I thank you for their joy and their laughter and how they create a culture that is friendly and a culture that allows people to open up and be vulnerable and transparent. And so I'm super blessed by you three and everybody in this room. But I just want to pray for everybody that is watching. As you heard my story, if there's any type of addiction, if there's any type of trauma, if there's any type of brokenness in your life, I just want you to know that Jesus can change you in an instant. He is the giver of life, and he can take anything that is broken, anything that is just not good inside, and he can change it, and he can restore you, and he can bring freedom in your life. This is all about freedom, and there's only one true freedom, and it's found in Jesus. So I just bless you all in Jesus' name. And I just encourage you as well to be vulnerable and speak up. Your voice matters. And when you speak about what happened to you to trustworthy individuals, it unlocks something in your soul. And so use your voice because God gave you a voice. And so I just bless you in Jesus' name. Amen.
Man.
Thank you.
Yeah.
If you haven't followed us at Faith Like Birds on our YouTube, on our Instagram,
MySpace.
on our MySpace, on our Apple Podcast, our Spotify, our YouTube channel, did I cover it all? Why not? We're 2 seasons in. Unless you're new here, then I have grace for that.
Yeah. Looking at you, Jeff.
Yeah, Jeff.
Jeff is a random guy we talk to.
About time, Jeff. Follow us at Faith Like Birds. Yeah. Yeah, y'all.
All right. Peace out.
Yeah. Bye.